Hello, everyone. We are about to start our EndofLife certificate program now. So I would like to mention about our program a little bit. As you know, preparing for that is a tough comment and sentence. Being ready for the last journey is important, but not easy. The word that itself is cold. The word that itself is cold, but it is a reality. That is a phenomenon that people often do not think much about for themselves and attribute to others. We will not die, all the others will die. When we look at the mirror, we don't feel that. No, that face will not pale, will not go away. It will stay forever. A kind of feeling. I mean, this is not rational, but the emotional. So, however, no matter how people think, one of the most important and unchanging truths of the universe on earth is death. Since we are going to die, it is possible to spend a more quality time in the last days of our lives and to prepare for the afterlife in a calm and peaceful way by accepting this fact. Yes, there are people who are approaching or preparing for death around us in our neighborhood, maybe family members, maybe under the same roof. So it is essential to take this training in order to help them in the best way possible. Are we ready for an educational journey where we will get to know ourselves, our companions or clients, and our creator better? So, guys, we have a right person to talk about those topics. Deanna Cochran, welcome to our program. You can unmute yourself again, Deanna.
Thank you. I'm grateful to be here with you.
Nice to hear from you. Long time no see, but this opportunity to talk. So let me start with introduction to Deanna Cochran. She is Amazon best-selling author. First of all, let me tell this. Founder of the premier EndofLife Doula certificate program and program developer. She is a present leader and one of the earliest voices of the EndofLife Doula movement. Deanna also custom builds EndofLife Doula programs within hospices and other organizations. She is education partner with businesses, schools, and other trainers. So the Care Doula School of Accompanying the Dying also serves the community through their Care Doula companion program, a 12-week private one-to-one emotional support service. All private sessions are free, and there is an admirative contribution of $100. This is just a short introduction for Deanna Cochran. So welcome again. Let's start to talk about our...
Sure.
Would you like to add some more things regarding yourself to introduce yourself?
Oh, no, I think that what my goal is to reduce suffering at the end of life. And the people that are being drawn to this are people who are forward thinkers themselves. They're innovatively thinking, okay, I see where there's gaps in care. I see where people are suffering, and I want to be, how do I be part of that? You know, how people, not everybody's inspired to serve the dying, or not everybody's inspired to even be where the dying's happening. Some people would rather be where people are healing, or, you know, different parts of life. So the people that are inspired to be at the end of life, they're usually thinking, how can I help here? So the end of life doula role is something that I feel can enable anybody to use whatever they're doing to help in the dying time. So this program that I've created tells a lot about hospice, because many people don't fully understand hospice. in the Western world, in the United States, that's the main vehicle for end-of-life care. However, people need what we have in hospice before they even get to hospice. And there are people in different professions that if they knew end of life well, they would be able to serve people even if they're not on hospice. And they'll be able to guide them better, support them better. Because most people, when they see somebody they're working with is dying, not as a chaplain maybe, but if somebody is in here, has another thing you're doing, another profession or whatever you're doing, while you're getting your chaplaincy license, then you may be afraid of what's going on because you don't know, or you're interested, but you're not sure. So this end-of-life doula role is something that is powerful for anybody, really.
So
Especially chaplains. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to ask about this, especially, is this program, is this course for just chaplains, even medical doctors, nurses, social workers, or for the others, which means lawyers, teachers, housewives, students? So how can they get benefit from this program?
Yeah, about half of the people in my personal school they're half are medical and about half are not medical. So about half of the people are, licensed professionals of some kind, mostly nurses and social workers and chaplains, because they're the ones that have been working in hospice. But also in the hospital system, there's a lot from there too, because they want to bring this end of life specialty into the hospital, because the only way you can get the kind of training I provide is if you work for years in hospice. Since I'm a hospice experienced nurse for many years, and I bring that into my training, of course, right? So the biggest piece of the support we give at End of Life is supportive, emotional, non-medical care. Hospice is the medical care provider. They're the experts there. And they have also expertise in with the chaplains and the social workers. What end-of-life doulas can do, or people who have this kind of training, is that they add to the team. So hospices can't be there all the time. They have to come and they have to go. But a person who's comfortable with this will be able to support somebody for longer periods of time, and that's what's needed. So people like attorneys, the other half of the people that come to me are like anybody, whether they have education or not, but it seems like it draws a lot of professionals, non-medical professionals, or say business owners, like yoga studio owner or hairdresser, or I have people from all kinds. You would think, why do they want to do this? Well, it's not about their role outside, it's about their heart. And they want to be a part of this. So how I help people is I say, okay, you work here in this setting and you will have a heart to serve the dying. Now I help them figure out how to do that. You don't have to leave your life to serve the dying. That's what everybody thinks, is that, oh, I want to serve the dying, so I have to work in hospice. Well, you don't. It's about being available your way. And that's what this role of end-of-life doula has helped develop, really. It's so that the best of hospice non-medical support, and a very innovative way to look at your life right now, and now we'll make it happen for you, so you don't have to try to make it happen. When we have a healthcare role, we have to abide by that role and by that license, and it's very taxing on a lot of people. So there are plenty of healthcare roles to do if you want to do it that way. If you want to have your own unique way of incorporating it into your job, or where you work in your company, or in whatever role you have in your life as a private practitioner of some sort, you can. That's what I help people do. Yeah.
Great. So before we go further, I would like to mention about Dr. Yetkin Yildirim a little bit. He is the bridge person, brought you us. So I want to thank him as well, by the way. So if he is available, he can ask his questions. I know he's outside now, but as much as he can. So let me show the website regarding our education. So here you go. It is a very nice, useful, wise course for our audiences. End of Life Certificate Program. It will start on June 7 and will end October 11, 2022. So this is one of the prominent programs of the respect. It will be, I hope, we say inshallah for this situation, God willing. So we will work on it. The purpose of End of Life Certificate Program is to equip a person to accompany the dying and their family through any setting with this skill and confidence. Let's say this is for every people who are caring their loved ones. Can I say this?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's personal. It's personal too. Absolutely.
There are two sides of the education, personal and professional sides. If we take it professional, as professional education, so the profits are different than the voluntarily work. So you will even teach us how we find clients and how we start to make money. This is not the aim, I know, for all, not all, many of our friends here, audiences, are looking for education, a part of their lifestyle. They want to help their loved ones with the proper way, wisely, with the knowledge of this program. So can you describe us the difference of the professional and the personal perspectives of this program?
Sure. In the chaplaincy teaching and training that everybody does that I hear, I've never been in chaplaincy school, but I have many chaplain professors and chaplains come to my school. And what they say is that it's like a further continuing education of support for themselves, because because they are drawn to serve the dying, and they understand that they need to keep going deeper inside themselves around their own suffering, around grief, around losing their own family members. And all of that has to be addressed continuously, not just one time. And in doing that, then they're healing themselves, of course, but they're able to better sit with the suffering of other people through their dying. And it's a little different to sit with people who are actually dying and their family members than it is if they're going through a hard time in some other way that they're going to live, that dying's not a part of this. Or if maybe a car accident or something like that, that's a different way of being with people. What this program mostly is about is somebody's dying a natural death, or you're at a place where the doctors have said this accident might have happened or whatever, but there's no going back. So now what do you do? So that's the personal. How do I help my family, myself, my friends? It takes an introspection that isn't taught anywhere. So when you work in hospice for many years, then you learn it there. But I found a way to bring that to a person where they don't have to work in hospice for years to get that essence of what they have to do in their own life and world on a daily basis. The other part is some people really, there's no role within any organization of an end-of-life doula paid role. Since this is so brand new, people are talking to organizations and saying, there's a role, I would be great at this. Do you want to create the role in your organization and pay me? And some are doing it. So, I mean, if you're good, you can talk to people well, and you know how to relay the value of what you can offer, you're going to do it. And it's new, so it is happening now. So that's a possibility. That's a hard walk right there sometimes. What this is more, the professional aspect of this is like a massage therapist, a dentist, somebody that has to say, hey, I'm here, but they have to get their own clients. That's the same way as this. It's a personal service. You have to get the people, you have to let people know you're here. And that's what I help people figure out also. It's, to me, that is the easiest thing to fix. People go, oh, well, how do I let people know I'm here? So we work with you on that. I work with you on that. So that way that's not a problem and everybody benefits. Your community will benefit. You'll benefit. The people that want to work with you will benefit. So I believe in both. Not everybody wants to do the professional side, but everybody needs the personal side.
Yes,
Everybody needs that side. Yeah.
with this way, win-win situation. Everybody,
It is.
all
Yeah.
the sides. So
It makes you a better person. I always say that the end of life doula path makes me a better person, because in order to do that well, be with the suffering of others, I have to deal with myself
exactly.
constantly. Yeah.
So to know myself better, this education helps me to go further and understand the details of my feelings, emotions, soul, not just the body. As a person, we have our own characters. So knowing yourself helps to know the other one. I mean,
Mhm.
our companion or client, uh, according to your view, how you look at it. So first of all, maybe many of our friends look at the person who is dying or at the end of life situation, in the end of life situation, as companion. This is the first step, healthy step, I believe, to take. Then maybe when they get experience, knowledge, wisdom, horizon from the course, they can start to look at professional with the professional way. Is
I believe, yes, that's what I teach. Yeah.
wonderful. So when we look at your program, your curriculum, we see here the objectives of the course. So establishing rapport and peace between two people, doula and the client, let's say.
Mhm.
And if you want to say something for every title, you can
Sure.
add. Yes. How do you
Okay.
establish rapport and peace?
Sure. Do you want me to do that now? Each little piece? I'll do a little bit, or just
Yes.
one at a time. Okay. So I know there's a lot of topics here, so I'll be brief. But basically, establishing rapport and peace is about establishing trust. And so that's what I cover there, and some very simple things that we can do to do that. The next thing is there's many settings you could be working. There's lots, most dying is happening before hospice. And that could be at home, in the hospital, at a nursing home, wherever the person is that is failing, could be anywhere, and they could be categorized in any, like, advanced illness or chronic illness or terminal illness. It doesn't matter what they're classified at, their disease is named. They may be dying, not acknowledge it. Nobody's acknowledging it, but they're still dying. So when I say exploring all the settings, it's like wherever you find yourself with someone who's dying, this program will show you how to deal with it and how to get them help. Emotional, spiritual support, it's just that. That's the essence of our service. That's the bottom line. That's what we all share in common. It's not that we're walking in as chaplain or social worker or anything like that. It's they're the experts in that journey. We have a heart. All of us have a heartbeat. We're companions, human. It's a human thing to want to be there for each other, tell stories and all of that. It's this kind of thing. Not that I'm going to be telling them about me. It's not that. It's that I'm there to witness and be present to their journey, right? So I talk all about that. Spiritual care. I'm sorry.
Exactly, matching with our chaplaincy education and functions. It is related. I mean, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. I see. They tell me that too, the other chaplains I work with as well. The spiritual care of self and others, I'm not looking at this as any tenets of any particular spirituality or anything like that. Anybody's religion, of course, or anybody's spiritual ideas. When I say spiritual care of self and others, it's that awareness about the bigger picture, that I can't come to you who's suffering with my best humanity. Now we're talking another layer, that I have to come with discernment. And how do you get your discernment? That's your religion, that's your culture, that's your wisdom. I can't give you that, but I can give you the things and the tools to bring you into awareness that that's what's needed right now. So that's what that is. It's really, people love that. And that's what's woven into the course. So I want you to know there's 3 aspects to the program. One aspect is all the curriculum that you would expect of all the issues and everything that you could possibly see in an end of life situation. The second layer is this personal transformative journey. And that is what you're integrating as you learn with your history and with what you want to do. So to me, all of that has to be connected, or else you're going to come to a family, to a person not connected to your heart, and then you're going to be sitting there and being like a board because you don't know what to do. I call it stage fright. If I'm not connected to my own history and my pain as I'm learning end of life, it becomes disconnected. And so I'm learning all this through my head. Oh, my heart's over here, it's okay. And then I go to the family with my like checklist and I'm like, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? and people get worried about that. So I call that stage fright. So this connective process that I've created gets rid of that. People just feel very free. What's the other part up there? Okay, practical support. That's all the things that you would expect. Many times people think of end of life support, and that's the only thing that they're looking for. They want to know meditations and tools of the doula and vigil tips and tricks and bedside plans and all that. But it's a very important, but that's just a very small piece of my program. It's huge, but I have a very full program. So you'll get all of that too. The tools, what I really focus on here is that we're the biggest tool. So I put tools because people like that. They like to write legacy and we like to do all these things, right? But I'm the biggest tool. So that goes into the spiritual care of ourselves, but it's just a different perspective of looking at things. And isn't that the way we bust through our limits, our best thinking? We have to bust through that. And it just takes a little change in perspective to transform our whole practice. So I like to plan those legacy aromatherapy, yes, and they're very secondary, very secondary. So that's what we do there. The dying body, I have a lot, of course, about that, how to support somebody, what the body is actually doing during that last month. What it's doing really the last 6 months, but we focused, of course, on the last dying days, how to support the person through all those things that are happening as the body's systems are winding down. People need to understand what they might be seeing, what's normal. I mean, so to speak, normal. I have a lot to say about that because I am a hospice nurse and I've seen a lot, and I've been trained very well by palliative physicians. So it's not like I know everything. I just have seen a lot, and I'll share with you a lot of things because people will say, oh, well, this is the way it is, or this is normal, or that's normal. So anything you could read that's normal, I can tell you why it's, don't just let it go, because everything will surprise you how people can die. And it's sometimes it'll just, I don't even say anymore, this is probably going to happen. I give you an overview, but I have seen every single rule be broken. All right, at the bedside is just all the things that you want to do during vigil, things to think about, very clear direction on what is most important physically, practically, and so that you can be that for the person and help them plan and be there. And so they can focus on being with their loved one instead of having to run around and do all these things. And then the special topics is, I love this. People love this part. I just cover in more detail these different specialty areas. So I don't want you to come into this work and be surprised yourself, like sitting with the family and being, oh, wow, I want you to walk in knowing this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, but you're a generalist. So this certificate program, you will be a very well-trained generalist, and you'll find as you do it that there'll be a few things that you really want to deep dive into. Any one topic here has mountains and mountains and mountains of reading, research. You can get lost in any single topic here, and there's a lot usually written about it. Put it all together and we have doula. Put it all together in a different way, with a non-medical focus, but with an expertise. See, that's the difference. It's a deep expertise, through my program. Yeah. Yes. Not everybody teaches the way I do, of course. I'm very strong in pre-hospice palliative care, because what I find in all my years is that people are dying and they're not on hospice and they're not getting referred correctly and they're not dying well. I mean, that's what all the physicians are writing about. Atul Gawande, Dr. Ira Byack, BJ Miller, Jessica Zitter, all these people that all these big books, they're writing that people aren't dying well. And so this is what we need, is the awareness of this pre-conscious acknowledgement of death happening. And that's what I feel doulas are in the perfect position, no matter if you work in hospice or in healthcare or in your attorney office or wherever you are. If you're a cook somewhere, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It really doesn't, because dying is happening around you, wherever you are.
You can't change this reality. So
right. Oh, professional issues. Yeah. So I help people create whatever that is for you. When you study, if you might go, you know what, I want to work in hospice. Okay, I've just saved you 2 years of having to learn the hard way. Okay, you know what? No, I want my own private practice. I'll help you develop that. You might go, I want to develop a program, and I work in some little company, and we have 10 employees, and it seems like they're all old. I want to do so I can give you ideas so that you can develop something within your company. You might be an community educator. I'll show you how to do that. So you don't have to recreate the wheel, that I have all these things in place. You create your own thing. That this is what I advise. When you take this program with me, I guide you into where you're really your heart focus is. So you don't have to recreate basic things, foundational things. It's all right here. You will have a specialty of some kind that is your heart, is your life, is your whole life, that you can create something special there. That makes the most sense. It makes the most sense that you create a program or a training or a service or anything that has to do with that special thing you do. So I love to support people in that.
And we have some key information here. The class is structured as follows. Would you mention?
Yeah, it'll be, we start in June. We take off in July, and I'll have assignments for you in July, and you'll be processing the initial part of this, and you'll be meeting with your professor here at Respect. And then we pick back up in the beginning of August. We're going to go through, it's a 16-week process. It's a 16-week course. And so I'm going to be giving you things to do and giving you assignments, and you'll know exactly what you're doing throughout the process. Most of it is going to be your personal transformative journey as you're learning, and you'll be thinking about how you want to do it. You just can't help that. You're going to be thinking about how you want to manifest this in your life. So that's the whole process. You'll know what to do now. You'll know where to go. You will know 100% what to do if you come on to most situations, I can say. You'll relax because you'll know that you're not wondering anymore. I laid out trusted ways that you can take the next right step. My thing is, I don't know everything, but I'm resourceful. And if you can say I'm resourceful, then I can show you how to get any answer. If you're resourceful, I can show you how to use that resourcefulness in situations here, and now you're going to be okay. I think people get nervous because end of life is so sensitive, of course, and it's a very, people suffer a lot with that. And they go, well, how can I be helpful? I don't know what to do. Well, I'm a hospice experienced nurse. I spent many years doing on-call crisis management at night and all that. And I can tell you that I still feel that way. What if I come in, I don't know what to do? Well, because I've never done this situation before. I might get into a situation that I don't know about. I can't hang my hat on that. I can't put my confidence in anything about I know what to do, but I am resourceful. And I can put 100% confidence in that. So I help rearrange your thinking so that your own mind won't keep you away from helping people if you feel inspired. And then the hours, let's see. Yeah, the books, you'll see the books there. Go ahead and get those on Amazon. They're going to help with the process. We're going to have weekly sessions. They're an hour and a half. The sessions, I don't lecture. Okay, I'll have a little bit in the beginning to get us on track for the assignments and the process of where we are during the 16 weeks. But the beauty of this, the best use of our time, is for you to read and do everything you're supposed to do for this journey. And then we talk about it. You say how you feel, what it brought up, what it made you think of. It gave you this idea, what happened in here. So that's the best use of me. And I think it's the best use of your time, because just like in hospice interdisciplinary team meetings, IDT, where all the people meet together, that's where you learn. You learn because you're sitting in a meeting, the palliative physician is running it. All the roles are there telling about the patient, and we're learning from each other. So I've set up our sessions the same way, that we're all together. You're asking questions about what you're thinking or what you experienced or what you read. And then as I answer that, everybody else is learning too. And I'm learning too. I learn every single time. So we're all in this very powerful environment together. Yeah, all these things we're going to talk about at different times. And a lot of this will be in the course, written wise. I was letting them know that also some of this is, as we talk it out, a lot of these things are just gonna be okay, I got it, because we talk about it in the group. And then I'm gonna have a document that'll be a quick reference on the rest of these. So these are all the things you're gonna have and go over.
Okay, so let's continue with your own experience regarding this profession. It is a sensitive field, as you mentioned. During your work time, I don't know how many years experience you have, 20 years or?
Since 2000, I've been a hospice nurse, and since 2005, a private practitioner, end-of-life doula, and palliative consultant. I've worked with families since 2005, pre-hospice palliative consulting.
So when we say 2000, it is almost a quarter century.
To look at it that way.
So
I didn't think about it like that.
I want to ask about your memories. For example, your loved one, not the client from far away.
Yeah.
If he or she faced that issue, that reality, how you help? So how you protect yourself? Could you mention about it?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I'll start like this, and I'll start with physicians, because we expect physicians to know everything, right? When I was a hospice nurse serving a hospice health, any physician, I was scared because I thought they know everything. And who am I? I'm just a little nurse and I don't know anything. And I'm new as a nurse. This is when I was new. But what I found is that that physician was the son. You know, in the moment he's losing his mother, he's the son. And if he gets into doctor mode, it's because a lot of times he's scared. She's scared. So looking at myself, I've done the same thing. When my mom was dying in 2005, that's what made me come up with all this doula thing. You know, that's what inspired that. I was the nurse. I was a busy hospice nurse, and I was managing her care. And we got hospice, and didn't like the way their hospice did it, so I wanted them to do it our way. And I was separated from her doing that. So over the years, I learned that very personally. So you know how sometimes, well, every time you notice something in your mind, you go, oh, and then it takes a while to get to your heart. And so that you respond differently. So now I'm with my father, and he's in his end days. You know, who knows? It could be any day. It could be in a month. But anyway, we're like that. So knowing this now, I'm spending time. I let go of a lot of my professional obligations and leadership roles and all of this. So I'm just doing my school. And I'm honored to be doing this with you all. This just fits right into a very comfortable place of sharing everything I have. That's what I'm doing right now. So that with my dad this morning, I'm over here with him right now. We sat on the porch and watched the birds and just talk. And I'm not managing his care right now. Do you know what I mean? I've learned how to step away from all of that, and that be very conscious that when it's my person dying right now, it's my dad. I'm his daughter, and I want to feel that. I don't want to I know what it's like to look back and go, man, I wish I would have done this with her. I wish, well, as she was dying, not when she was alive. She died quickly. She died within a month of diagnosis. So I'm talking about once she was dying, if I wasn't in there trying to be all professional, maybe I would have sang to her. Maybe I would have, so.
Yeah, and so 2005 and 2022, two different Deanna we have.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Your behavior to the mom and to dad are different. So which one is better when you look at from this time?
It feels better. It's not this, it feels better. It really feels better doing it this way. But the diseases were different. My mom had an aggressive cancer. So it was hard not to be thrown in the hospice role because we had to manage everything every day. So I understand why I had to be in that place, because she wasn't on hospice. The very thing I teach in the school, you run up against this all the time. She was 61. I'm 61 right now. She was 61 and she didn't want to die and she didn't want hospice. How do you help somebody like that who's dying, right? Most of us will be in that position. Okay, so as a family, it's hard to, but one day I said, I'm not going to be your hospice nurse anymore. We have to call hospice. I need it. Please, 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 will you let me call them? She said, I'll let you know on Monday. And on Monday, she said yes. And she died on Wednesday, but, my dad, he has a different illness. He has heart disease with kidney failure. So this has been up and down and up and down and up and down. So all the time, people in here who know medical conditions, or you might have a family member with heart disease, you know what I mean? It's the last Christmas. And then 10 years go by. It's the last this, it's the last birthday, it's the last summer. And you go and you're always, and then it's not, then they miraculously come back. So we've been doing this with my dad for about 10 years. But my dad has this extra thing where he got hit by, like last year, hit by a car, drug through, hit a fire hydrant. He's fine. gets COVID, pneumonia, in the hospital, ICU, comes out, he's fine. He's one of those people and he's 88. So we all have our journey. And I think that when you're aware of death and dying, it helps bring a levity. You're not always so sad about it and depressed. It's sad. It's depressing. I don't want to lose my family either. But there's something, a levity that comes in when you really get into it and you really deal with your own heart so you can be with other people, that it brings something, an added dimension to our lives.
So this profession provide us a wonderful perspectives and knowledge and wisdom to help our loved ones, it seems. I see your experience and I respect. You know how to do the right things. I mean,
No, yeah.
yeah, we need to learn from this education more. So why this is important, this education? For example, we say first aid is important. So last aid too. I mean, this is the last,
Yeah.
end of journey. So we want to provide them memorable last moments. I mean, the valuable, and if they spend this time, if they have limited time, they will spend it with two ways. I mean, negative or positive. We are trying to make it positive way with this education. And also, as believers, we believe the afterlife, preparation of the afterlife in peace, without with the rebellious way, asking question, why me? Why this happened? This will happen. I mean, if you accept this reality, maybe you can be ready. What do you think with the spiritual perspective?
Yeah. Yes. The thing about what I hear and read, like, I don't know truly. I have all kinds of perspectives at different times. I've seen people who are dying say different things, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was like this. And then they're talking about something that's different than what I thought. So because I've been with so many people over all these years, in hospice, you might serve 20 families a week. So you can imagine how many people I've been with. And they'll say or do something that blows out another idea that I thought was real. For me, if knowing this journey and taking it to where it's not about me, but I'm witnessing them, I'm companioning them, then when they know somebody's really hearing them, they get to reflect, and they get to not be alone in that reflection. One of the biggest things that people who are dying say is they feel alone, because they can't say the truth to the people who love them, that are crying that they're not going to be here. They don't want to make them more sad. The friends come over and they say something, they might say something. The friend will say, oh no, don't, you're going to get well. Or, oh, you shouldn't be sad, we'll take care of her. Or people want to close them down. So there's or chaplains, social workers, nurses, we're the worst at this. We go to help somebody die. We're going to help. We're going to be there as a hospice. And we come with our role. So the nurse is going to get you the medicines. The social worker is going to get your paperwork. The chaplain's going to come and read the prayers or do with the prayers. They're just sitting there. Nobody's really spending time with them, where we're quiet, we're quiet, and they have the time to just be. When someone knows that you're not going to try to have some kind of prepared objective or outcome or thing that you have to do, but you're really coming, you kick your shoes. I like to frame it like this. When I come into somebody's house, I kick my shoes off, I walk in and I sit down and I lean back, and they know I'm not going anywhere until they let me know I need to go. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm not rushing out of here. I am not going to offer suggestion to you. I'm not going to advise you. I'm not going to do anything other than sit here and be with you, listen to you. And often as a doula, I can do this. As a hospice nurse, I couldn't do that because I had a job to do. What I found though, after doing the doula thing, as a hospice nurse, what I began to do was realize, okay, I'm going to get all that stuff that I need to do with my role done in early. And then I'm going to sit as long as I can in that relaxed way that I was just sharing with you, so they can feel they can dump. A lot of people, we have to fix that thing in us that wants to take away their pain. That's really, really ingrained in many of us, that for some reason we think they shouldn't be in that much pain. We don't want them to be in that much pain. So anyway, I don't know if I answered your question, but
exactly. Presence is important. You are with them. You have to be there. The proper time. I mean, you explain a wonderful way. You are not just stopping by there. I mean,
yeah. In the doula role, I tell people, you at least plan for 2 hours. See, in a healthcare role, you can't do that. In a healthcare role in the hospital, maybe it's 10 minutes. In a healthcare role in hospice, maybe it's an hour, 30 minutes. Nobody's ever had the kind of time we give in hospice, which is amazing. People love that. But this is the thing. It's an hour. And there's the feeling, I gotta go. People always think the hospice nurse, the chaplain, they're so busy. You're so busy. Thank you for coming. They're ready for you to go. They know you're coming. You come in as a whirlwind because we're running around seeing 20 patients a week. And we leave in a whirlwind. And we come in because we've been busy. Maybe we got pulled over by the police. We're speeding. Maybe we were hungry. We didn't go to the bathroom. The phone's been ringing off the hook. I got to deal with all these things. Now I'm going to walk into the family. Do you think I'm very peaceful? No. And they can feel it. But as a doula, it's a whole different thing. And with the doula mindset, and when you get to realize about the doula way of doing things, now you can incorporate it in your professional practice if you're going to use it in healthcare. So the adjustment between licenses, between having a licensed role and doula, even if you never have a professional doula practice, the study of what it takes to do this will enhance your professional role.
So what does doula mean, if someone asks?
Oh yeah, it's a Greek term, and we borrow it from the Greek term servant. So back in the day, their times, it was a woman slave who served another woman through all the transitions of life. And then the birth doulas in the Western world borrowed it to mean birth doula. Yes. And they said, okay, I'll be a servant to the birth. Well, when my mother died, I had a birth midwife with my second daughter, and she helped heal. The team healed so much from my family, my past, my future, helped us have a healthy delivery for that one. And I thought, when my mom died, I thought, oh my gosh, I could be like those birth midwives. We need people like this, birth midwives for dying. I can do that. That's what inspired me to do this. So the role of the doula is heart. So the midwife, the birth midwife, you can imagine that's the technical person, they know all the things. The birth doula is the non-medical heart. The midwife has the doula heart. Everybody can have the doula heart. That doesn't require any technical expertise at all. It's the doula heart. It's the servant heart, and not being afraid to be present with dying and to be present with deep suffering. And that's like a beautiful chaplain. Y'all are doing that as chaplains. That's what you're doing. So now having an end of life expertise to go along with it.
So we have hospices as settings and environment to work.
Yeah.
Could you mention a little bit about the hospices, the system in the USA?
Yeah. So hospice is Medicare benefit here. And it begins at 65. And so anybody who's over 65 and has a terminal diagnosis qualifies to be on hospice service. And hospice service, so it's an entitlement, it's free if you come in then. And then hospice is made up of several team members. So hospice is a philosophy of care where you're not doing medical treatments to increase survival. What we're doing is medical treatments to ensure no suffering. It's intensive care for people who are dying. People tend to think that it's a letting go of everything. No, it's an intensifying of care so that a person is not suffering. And it's very, there's a lot to it. And so the palliative physicians are expert at diagnosing symptoms to relieve those symptoms. So another myth people think is, oh, you just give some morphine. Oh, you just give this. Oh, you just give that. No, it can be very complicated. Most of my career, I was with people who had various cancers. And I can tell you what that does to a body by the time someone gets to hospice, very complicated. And those palliative physicians are, oh my gosh, they're so good. The ones that are good, I mean, they're good, you know. And then the nurses are the eyes and ears for the doctor, the social workers, the chaplains, they have certified nursing assistants who do bathing and all of that. We have volunteers. Medicare requires that they're volunteers for each hospice. So then you have bereavement team. Medicare requires you have bereavement team. So that's the setup for hospice. And it's an interdisciplinary team. I call it holistic. I call it Western medicine's holistic best. So we know that the care is fragmented. We know the specialists don't know what each other's doing. We know all that. But with palliative care, with hospice is using palliative care as their sole method of care. It is a holistic model of care. So mind, body, spirit of the person dying, plus the relations with the family, plus community relation, all those relationships, hospice considers as well. So it's a very, it's beautiful.
As the director of program and also the representative of the students, I want to ask this. When the trainees get the certificate, can they go to the hospice and ask them, can I work here professionally or voluntarily? This is so direct question, but I would like.
Oh no, yeah, let's do it. There's no role created that for doula, but let me tell you something exciting in the United States. So in 2018, the end-of-life doulas, you know, I've been part of the leadership for forever. We were trying to get the attention of our national trade organization. And so some trainers and I, we developed the National End-of-Life Doula Alliance, professional organization to bring standards and code of ethics and all of that, core competencies to the role for the purpose of getting the attention of our national trade organization, the NHPCO. Well, they found, we were talking to them along the way, and they invited us before even NEDA, National End-of-Life Doula Alliance, before that was even off the ground. So immediately they saw the value in the role, and they invited us to a council. They created a council for their over 6,000 member hospices and palliative care organizations to have a council of end-of-life doulas to educate them and show them how to use doulas. So if a chaplain with a certificate goes to a hospice and says, I have an end-of-life doula certificate also, most hospices will say, what? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what a doula is, but you have a web page to go to within their big national trade organization, and you'll be educating them that this is valid. That's the amazing news, is that even the ones that don't know, once they see that, they're going to go, oh, this is a real thing. It's in the NHPCO. Why didn't I know of it? So that's the difference between maybe another movement that's new that doesn't have that kind of connection, but we are on the map. So most, I would say not most, let's say about 50% of the hospices will know of doulas. Mm-hmm. I would say a lot of people don't know yet that we have a council. But we have webinar with the NHPCO. I get presentations about at least 2 or 3 before COVID at the national conferences. We have those. We have documents. We have everything. I'll make sure that you have that link where you can download and see all the things we've done with. I was the first chair for the first 2.5 years, and we did a lot of great education initiatives so that all of those member hospices organizations would know of us. So.
So
We're in the
hospice,
beginning.
yeah, but we will go and walk together.
We will. And so this is the thing that as this profession continues to evolve and people find out, we have the Alliance for Professional Standards and we have trainings like mine. Mine's really good. People know that. So if you have all this backing and you go to a hospice and they go, oh my gosh, we know you're going to be good because like I told you, you've cut the learning curve. You can say, I know this, and this, and they're going to ask you and you're going to be able to talk about it. They'll hire you over somebody else. Yes, they will. But do they have a role for you? No. Yeah.
So hospices are one side of the education. Also, we apply for this education, even I think, to join as your student. So we, for example, I apply to get knowledge and experience from you. How can I help the people who are dying properly? So this is in advance benefit of the course, personal benefit. Also, if we take it as the professional work, then you will teach the trainees how they find ways to reach the clients. And
yeah, I have a system for that.
A little bit mention, please.
Okay, I'll mention what my philosophy is and how I have people do it, because everybody wants to do this a little different. So if you're a person who wants to work in the community as a professional, you've got to by nature be an educator. I mean, it just comes with the territory. So community education is the way, to me, the only way. So I have a whole system for that. I have a platform, Neighbor to Neighbor, where it's a 10 lesson PowerPoint of what to do. So the teaching is in the PowerPoint. The person facilitating is just having a place where the community can come and talk and see and hear things, and a couple of ideas for each lesson on what they can do. That's the thing is missing, is I've committed this to be things you can do, because people are everywhere talking, which is necessary, but there's very little, what do I do about it? So my Neighbor to Neighbor is, as a person who's on the third, I call it the third rung out, being the first is the person who's dying and their primary caregiver. The second rung is the family, very close family or friends that can come over anytime and feel that that's their place. The third rung is like, well, I don't know if I should go there, or you might not feel welcome, or you don't know if you're intrusive, like you have questions. Healthcare is in the third rung. So doulas, friends and family that don't feel like they're in the center, colleagues from work, we're all on that third rung. The Neighbor to Neighbor is to show people on the third rung how they can be helpful and things they can actually do to change what's going on. So that's a powerful community education platform that also positions your service. So there's 2 components to it. And if you don't like that platform, that's fine. Just pick another platform that you like with the same intention. Okay. No, yeah. So that's very important. That's very key. So that's one aspect of it. And then I show you how to go about it.
Wonderful. So we need to conclude our program slowly. We have time until the 4:30, but I just want to let you know if you want to say some vital things regarding your education, now the time. How many people can join in a group? So for the chaplaincy, 7-8 people is good. The maximum is 10, for example. For you, small group is better, as I understand your approach.
Yeah, it's better so we can talk, you know. I mean, if 10 people want to come, that's fine, but you know, a few people is better. But I some of my because so many people want to do it now, even 15 can be intimate. I know how to, I mean, this is what I do for a living, right? So it doesn't have to be a tiny group, but it's be prepared to share. You'll only get a lot out of this if you're willing to be open. Even a little bit, even a little. It's not like you have to say everything about your life. You don't even have to be on the screen. You can have the screen shut. This is very personal, very deep. So it's not like I have to see you every time or you have to share every time. But if you show up and be present and take a little step towards being vulnerable every single time, however that looks for you, then you're going to get a tremendous value out of this. You can't just come and sit and listen. If you're like that, don't even bother. If you do this, you come and bring yourself and you're going to be very surprised.
Wonderful. So trainees has to come and show themselves, ask questions, be active in your class.
Yes, yes, there's no reason really. I know sometimes people just want you to come to their program. I don't. I only want people who want to be there. I only want to work with people who have a passion. It doesn't make sense for anybody else to be there. Really, it doesn't. There's better things to do with your time, because what happens if somebody's not committed, then they come and it's just like incongruence. You're bracing yourself, you don't want to be there, but then you're a little intrigued, and it causes more problem than helpful. You know?
Wonderful explanation. So, dear brothers and sisters, as you listen, if you are interested in this field, EndofLife certificate with the education, so please click the Respect School website. Let me show you here the address. So it is respectgs.us EndofLife certificate program. So you can enroll from here. It is, as she told that, 16 weeks program, and the price is $750, 3 payments. You can pay it in 3 months. When you enroll from here, you will see the price, installments, everything. If you have a question, you can send your emails info@respectgs.us. So thank you for your participation, Deanna.
Thank
I am
you.
excited to see you on the stage soon.
Me too. It'll be fun.
Yes, that's interesting. When you say fun, dramatic things and the fun things all together here. I mean, sensitive education, but you find out to teach it with the fun way. And the life is, I mean, light and dark, hot and sweetie, everything is together. So when we say the end of life, we don't have to scare, huh? They fun because sometimes when we look at the bad things, just behind of it, we can realize there is a wonderful thing. We say higher. Higher means good thing. So what is your last comments as conclusion?
Well, as you were speaking, I felt I felt such a beautiful, when you were sharing, I felt a beautiful spirit energy, whatever, I felt something really beautiful. And what I want to let people know is that, yes, wherever I am, wherever I am, we're going to laugh. But it's not without reverence. I'm very respectful of what's going on. I'm very aware how serious this is and how grief is always with us when we're talking about this. Each one of us has our own grief history, and it always comes to the table when we're talking about these things. And I'm very careful of all that. But at the same time, how are we going to do this if we're just like, funeral all the time? We can't. We can't. We have to find that place in us that feeds our joy, that wellspring of joy. And we can serve and still feel joy. We can serve in this very dark time for people and still have our own joy, or we won't be able to do it. Yeah.
The life is art of balance. Everything is under the balance.
Oh yeah.
We don't. We live with the dramatic things, but according to the scientists, people be normal just 6 months later when they lose their loved ones, for example. This time can be changed, but we created as a human being, we are mortal. We know that when we face the problem, we felt very sorry and sad. Then this sorrow will go somehow. And this education help us to deal with it properly, relevant ways. So thank you for your knowledge to share with us.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you. And I look forward to working with whoever feels drawn to come. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Need to be strong, and you will teach us how we protect us as well.
Yes. And you don't have to be strong. You don't have to be strong, but just come if you're,
If we know the style to protect us, don't carry the work to home, then we can be sustainable in this area, this field.
Yeah.
Have a good day and see you soon at the
Thank you.
session. Ladies and gentlemen, dear sisters and brothers, our program will start in 2 weeks, let's say, and see you for the next program.